Welcome back to LDB Games. I'm Lord Darth Balls. This is going to be a Raid Shadow Legends video. And in this video, I'm going to go over the best rare in the game. No questions. She's so good, she's the only champion that I have 4 copies built. And guys, I'm sure you know who I'm talking about at this point. She is none other than Coldheart. Void Affinity, rare champion with a couple cool skins. I only have the fire one right now. I didn't win the Necrobia one. I was in a tough tournament for that one. But I caved a little bit, spent a little bit of money on the Pyro Class one because this is just a dope skin. And her kit is just as dope to go along with it. She has a quad hitter A1. One of the only champions, if not the only champion in the game that has a quad hitter on her A1. I don't really care about the heal reduction. It's the 4 hits that really sell it for me. Her A2 is an AoE. 30% chance of placing a 50% decrease accuracy, books to 35. Again, not really what it's used for. The poisons are nice here and there, but the crown jewel of her kit is her A3, Heart Seeker. This attacks one enemy, decreases the turn meter by 100%, and has an extra 30% chance of inflicting a critical hit. And the damage is based on enemy max HP, so she is one of the hardest hitters in the game, and she's a rare. Now, this extra 30% chance of inflicting a critical hit is huge, because that allows you to build her to 70% crit rate. And you can see here I've gotten her up to 322% crit damage. She's running at about 181 speed with about 3,500 attack. I do have a little bit of accuracy with her because I want that A3 to reduce the turn meter. There is an accuracy check here, and you have to have enough accuracy for that to work. Now, where do I use her, and why have I built 4 copies? Well, she is the Spider Queen. I have a 12-second Spider farm on Spider 20. It does use Septimus, so beware this has a little bit OP champion in it, right? I got the OG Septimus in here. I got Lydia, who is technically free to play. You earn her by beating Faction Wars. Bad L, actually the first legendary I pulled on this account, which is pretty cool. And Gurptuk, who has a past fusion. So for the most part, this team is free to play. Septimus can be swapped out for Royal Guard. In this combo, works the same. So let me show you the run, and I'll talk about kind of the synergy and how it works. And you'll notice that my Coldheart is fully awakened. Now, I didn't pull a 6-star Coldheart. I actually pulled a 2-star Coldheart, and then one by one bought the split souls. You saw that 3.7 million. Now, that is with 1 instance of bonus damage. With her chance, so that awakening, I have Phantom Touch on her. And that awakening is huge, because what happens when it's fully maxed out is it's 100% chance of inflicting that single instance of bonus damage, and then there's another 35% chance of inflicting another instance of bonus damage. I can hit for up to 4.4 million damage on the Spider on level 20. Here it is, the big hit from Coldheart. This is probably one of the biggest hits I've ever seen Coldheart do. Opens up with Lydia and her decreased defense and weaken. You get the poisons from Bad L, giving 20% extra damage. You get the poisons from Gurptuk, giving extra damage. There's Septimus, and boom, 4.348 million damage. Woo! Now, the beautiful thing about Coldheart is this isn't the only place that she's used. Yes, she's very powerful for the Spider. She has this massive hit and the turn meter reduction, so even if you don't have another massive hitter and you pair her with an AoE HP burner, her A3 depletes the Spider's turn meter. So the Spider can't take that first turn to heal up, because that first turn that the Queen Spider takes heals based on how many spiders she eats. So that turn reduction helps prevent her from getting a turn. But where else do I use her? Well, I use her in Fire Knight. Now, I just recently rebuilt my team to have a Seer in it. You can see that there's my Coldheart right there. Before I built this team, however, I was rocking double Coldhearts with Allure. That's 8 plus 3. That's 11 hits on the A1s to take that shield down. And the really cool thing about Phantom Touch is it adds an extra hit. So technically speaking, 2 Coldhearts can take down an entire shield, right? 1 Coldheart can take down the majority of a shield. This is a little bit longer of a run, so I'm not going to show that. I am going to show the Seer team that I have, because it is fairly quick. As I've gotten farther in this game, I've done a pretty good job of improving speeds. But you'll notice I have a cooldown reset here, along with Lydia, who brings both the decreased defense and weaken, as well as the buffs for Seer to strip. You'll see I go in with Renegade, reset those skills, get an extra little buff out of Seer, which is kind of nice, because then on her next turn, Seer will just melt the waves. But we're not here to talk about Seer, we're here to talk about Coldheart. So, I have her starting with her A1. Her A1 comes through, and it's going to be, so that's going to take the shield down right there. Oh, actually, Seer gets an extra turn. 2 extra turns. Wow, that doesn't happen very often. And so Allure with the decreasing turn meter on the A1. Coldheart actually does 2, and now her A3 helps, because now the Fire Knight will never get a turn. Between her A3 and Allure's A1, it keeps his turn meter completely depleted, and typically ends this run at about 60 seconds. So it gives me a really nice quick farm for Fire Knight, because as I move further into the end game, there it is, 103. My best is 57. As I move further into the end game, Savage is really what you want. And actually, I have her built in Savage. So real quick, before I show you where else I use her, I have speed on the boots. You'll see I even got 6-star boots here, some crit rate, crit damage. I've got HP percentage on the chest, because attack isn't her primary damage multiplier. It's the enemy max HP, so she doesn't really need to have massive attack to do damage and do what she's supposed to do. I got 6-star crit damage gauntlets on here, and then I have a spattering of crit damage, attack percent, crit rate, and speed, as well as accuracy through the rest of the build. I do have a 6-star accuracy banner to get me up to that 220. 220 is kind of what you need for, anywhere between 220 and 250 is kind of the sweet spot for Spider 20. Outside of that, and Fire Knight 20, she would need a little bit more accuracy to deplete the turn meter, but when it comes to where else I use her in this game, I actually use her in a couple Doom Tower bosses. No, that's not the one I want to show you guys. Here, let's use this one. This is this is the team that I use on Scarab all the way up to hard floor 30. Once I pass that, I move into a different strategy. But you'll notice I don't have my fully awakened one here. So now we're into the reason why I have, well, at least 1 copy, right? So what's the second copy for? Second copy is for Scarab, and I have her built in Destroy, so that this A3 depletes the enemy max HP on top of the massive damage that she does. So it comes super in handy with Scarab, because this guy's got a shield that you can only break through by decreasing the max HP, by decreasing his max HP. So I'm going to skip through here. I'm going to cut it back in when we get to the boss. It is pretty quick, and sometimes I guess I don't need to skip it. Sometimes there's a couple enemies on these waves that will do block damage or unkillable. Thankfully on hard 30 there is nobody there, because with all the turn meter reductions, you can get caught in an endless loop sometimes. But typically this is the cleanest and fastest way for me to run Scarab all the way up through, like I said, hard floor 30. Can handle every single floor of the Scarab on the normal Doom Tower. And it's because of the tune. Now, I actually have a video dedicated to explaining this team. I'm going to pin that up there for us. You guys can check it out if you want. It is a little outdated, so my Coldheart doesn't have the blessings on it, on her. But you can see, boom, that big drop in shield here. This is that bar for max HP. And every time she lets loose a Heartseeker, it takes a massive chunk out of here. That wasn't even her Heartseeker that took out a nice little chunk. That in conjunction with Allure, drop in turn meter, Stagnite's decreased speed, the Great Armiger, decreasing turn meter, and boom, that was a massive Heartseeker, decreased the turn meter, and did a chunk of damage, and then that's all she wrote. This is just a matter of time until this little guy takes a rest for the night. So this is my Scarab farm team. So now that's 2 Coldhearts that I have built, right? So you must be wondering, what are the other 2 for? Well, if you've gotten into clan quests, every now and then, a clan quest will pop up, and it wants you to defeat the spider with only champions from the Dark Elves faction. Well, check out this Dark Elf team. I've got 4 Coldhearts, opening with Lydia and her decreased defense and weaken. Now, obviously you have the 3% chance for Lydia to not land one of the 2, decreased defense and weaken. You can see we got it here. And then the Coldhearts release their onslaught of damage, which is really friggin' cool, right? 12-second run, 4 void rares, and a free-to-play legendary. Pretty cool team, really great for that advanced quest, and when we do have the random odd events which require you to use only a specific faction. What's really cool about the 6-star of Ascension, as I come to wrapping this video up, is she does enough damage where if Lydia doesn't land one of her decreased defense or weaken, I can still clear this stage in 12 seconds because her damage is so great. You can see I got it this time as well. Of course, you know, it's not going to happen when I want it to, but it'll always happen when I don't want it to. That was actually a really low hit, 3.3. Let's see if we can get a really big hit from Coldheart. I want that extra bonus damage to land. And then there's actually one other place that I use her, but it's on a different Doom 4 million. Boom, that had the extra damage. It's on a different Doom Tower rotation. So what I'm going to do is I think I have it's Dark Fae. I think I have a video that I recorded of it that I can share with you guys. All right, here we are. So it's actually Dark Fae, floor 120 of the hard Doom Tower. You'll notice that here, let me go back a little bit. Round 1, I'm manualing this whole fight because I wasn't really sure whether I could complete it or not, and it took me a few tries to get it. Had to do a little bit of tweaking here. But as we get into the second round, I end up A1ing my way through it because I need certain abilities to start. And I'll make a video on exactly how to beat this boss in the future, but I really just want to showcase Coldheart. Because in comes Hegemon to wipe out the existing team, right? I've got an increase in my accuracy because Coldheart's accuracy isn't quite high enough for the job that she needs to do here. And then I come in with the A3, and that A3, well, actually I came with the A1 to start. I forgot what the logic was. There was a good reason for that. I think it was because I wanted something else. But here's the A3. You'll notice that drop in turn meter and a nice chunk of damage. Now, interesting little semantic here. The turn meter bars of most bosses are greater than 100%. So unless it says completely depletes the turn meter, it won't. It'll only take 100%. I believe Dark Fae is somewhere around 150 to 200%. I'd have to double check. I'm not really sure. But that's why when Coldheart and or Geomancer does their turn meter reduction, it doesn't take everything away. You'll notice I was having a little struggle here because she actually got a turn, pulled up my Hegemon, and now I'm manualing my way to try to make sure this Hegemon doesn't wreck my team. One of the strategies with this is to actually have a very weak, sort of not, like, very squishy team so that you can wipe them out in the beginning really easily, right? And that's where my Hegemon comes into play. And then I have Allure, I have Geomancer, I have Lady Kimmy, and I have Coldheart, all with turn meter reducing abilities, and Hegemon with the decreased speed. So you'll see there is, right, so that right there was about 100% of Dark Fae's turn meter. And that's it. Coldheart, the best rare in the game. So good that I built 4 of them. Guys, comment below. Do you use Coldheart anywhere that I don't? Is there anywhere I should start using her? She's incredible from the mid game all the way into the end game, sometimes even early game, although the enemy max HP ability doesn't really start ramping up damage until you get to the higher level bosses who have the higher level HP. I'm going to let this play out. You guys can see the end. It's not the quickest fight, and it is manual. This was the first time I had ever cleared this Doom Tower rotation. I'm going to make a video about this in the future, I'm sure. But thanks for watching, guys. Enjoy your raid, and enjoy the rest of this fight.